Hey everybody, it's Greg Harrelson here with Century 21, the Harrelson Group, with my co-host Abe Safa, also with Century 21, the Harrelson Group. And here we are again on another week, wanting to share with you what's going on in the Myrtle Beach real estate market. Here we share this on a weekly basis on Myrtle Beach Real Estate TV. So if you have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button to make sure that you're getting our updates on a weekly basis. Again, you will not get a lot of video notifications. We're only giving updates on the local real estate market. So if you want to keep up to date, you surely want to subscribe. Abe, thank you for joining me once again.
Hey, Greg. Yeah, always a pleasure to do these shows.
Yeah, man. Well, let's get right into it. I guess we can give them some numbers, but before we do that, let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the real estate market, especially right now when it's kind of nearing the holiday season. I don't know about you, but I can speak for me, and what I'm hearing around the office is, and I suspect that you also. We're actually getting a few more offers on our listings. It's almost like there's a little bit of momentum building right now, which is exactly what people think doesn't happen around the holidays. But we did an episode and I said, look, buyers, the buyers that are in the market, they're motivated to buy now, and the sellers are typically motivated to actually sell. So you see that December can be a solid month for sales, especially in the Myrtle Beach market, knowing that we do have snowbirds and retirees that come kind of getting away from the winter months up north. Are you seeing the market being pretty active right now?
Yeah, there's no question about it. As a matter of fact, interest rates have dropped a full percentage point pretty much in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Because of that, we saw a spike, and even more lenders out there are seeing an increase in loan applications.
For sure.
So, buyers are definitely some buyers. I shouldn't say all buyers. There's still a good shortage of buyers out there, but some buyers are back in the game right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And, again, from a pricing standpoint, we'll get into the numbers, as I said, but, I'm happy that we're still holding prices pretty strong for our sellers, and I mean, if we're representing a seller, it does take a little bit more work, which is fine. I mean, quite frankly, the last market, it wasn't necessarily easy to sell, but in a way it was fairly easy. Relatively speaking, to get a property sold because the market was so hot. But right now it does take a little bit more effort, especially marketing effort on the agent standpoint, but it's still paying off, and our prices are holding strong, with the exception of a few people that might be frustrated because the days on market's a little bit longer, so they're discounting just to get it off their books this year. But other than that, would you agree that the prices are kind of stable? Or
yeah, when you look at the numbers, prices have, as a matter of fact, they actually bumped up a little bit in November compared to October.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of tricky because when you look in the MLS and you look on Zillow, wherever you do your searching out there, if you're looking at property, you see a lot more price reductions than we've seen in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay, but in reality, when homes are closing for the month of November, we actually saw a little bit of uptick in average sales price for all the homes closed. So they're holding firm. They really are. And I think it's a function of the inventory. Inventory is still kind of flat. It really hasn't been growing much these last couple of months.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know, I think I've said this before. I'm not sure exactly where all the inventory is going to come from.
Yeah.
So we are definitely, I think that you said it best. It's like we're in a market like we have not seen before. Like no other market that we've seen, where usually we're talking about either demand is low and supply is high, or supply is low and demand is high. We're seeing demand is lower and supply is lower.
Yeah.
And that's, by the way, for those listening, that is the reason why prices have not went down, but sales have decreased, but prices haven't, is because the supply and the demand, those have both moved down together. Usually they go in opposite direction, and that's when we either have a very hot market or a very soft market. Right now, a lot of people are saying this is a soft market, but they're saying it because instead of there being 10 sales, there's 6 sales, meaning there's about a 40% decrease in total number of transactions that are taking place. So the number of transactions that are taking place is really soft, but it's because the inventory level is so low that the prices are not filling the impact of the softness.
Yeah, exactly, Greg. And one of the reasons we wanted to have this conversation today is, there's a lot of talk out there with, especially if you watch YouTube and things like that, people saying the market's going to crash, prices are going to plummet. This is 2008 all over again. And the reality is that it isn't. This is a completely different market than 2008, a completely different market than we've ever seen. So this isn't like in 2007, there was a credit crisis. The banks were feeling it. All the lenders were feeling it. People were behind on their mortgages. People had to sell. You helped a lot of people, during that time when they had distressed sales and had to get up properties. That's just not happening right now.
Yeah.
There's hardly any distressed properties out there. So, and sellers, frankly, just don't have to sell right now. So that's what makes it really unique. So sellers are just being patient, and then buyers are being patient because interest rates all of a sudden doubled in less than a year. And they feel like, okay, well, I'm kind of going to have to wait. So yeah, on the one hand, it is soft in the sense that there's less sales happening. Okay. But it's not necessarily impacting prices like people thought it would.
Yeah. I saw a coach, I don't know the coach, but I saw somebody selling some coaching materials to real estate agents online on the internet. And they were talking about coaching agents on how to do short sales. And I'm thinking, okay, like in order to do a short sale, then people have to be upside down, meaning they have no equity in the property. And there's very few people that are upside down where their mortgage is higher than their property's value. That's when a short sale would have to be done. So I see this coach out there pitching the short sale, and I can tell all they're really doing is trying to find agents that are thinking that the market's about ready to crash, and then sell them a product just so they can make some short-term money by selling that coaching product. But there's just nothing anywhere in our marketplace right now that indicates that the people are going to lose all their equity and not be able to sell and pay off their mortgage. So, it's just interesting how that some of these coaches are going towards old material, like the material they were selling in 2007. They're going back to that old material, but even that doesn't apply to where we are. Now, could we go there? Yes, I guess it's possible, but it's not probable that that's going to happen. I don't think you and I are preparing for that. If it did happen, we know what to do, but I don't think we're preparing for, that's going to happen. We're not preparing our clients for that type of conversation at this moment.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing. There's zero. And I look at a lot of data. There's zero data out there that I'm seeing that points in that direction.
Yes.
Nothing whatsoever.
Yes. Well, go ahead and share the numbers.
Yeah, let's. I'm going to pop this up on the screen because I kind of dug a little bit deeper this month because there's a lot of numbers I wanted to share. Mm-hmm. So I just excuse me if it's difficult to read. Hopefully, I just wanted to kind of put it all in a summary.
I think it looks good.
Yeah. So if you look at this, is just single family homes. This is existing sales. This is not new construction. New construction is a whole different animal out there right now. But when it comes to existing sales, which is what matters to you homeowners out there. And then what Greg was talking about was that first line, closed sales, 362 homes last month of November. That's down 45%. So that's a big drop. Okay, so that number in itself looks scary, right? I mean, that's a 45% drop. Keep in mind, though, last year, the market was going bananas, right? Single family homes were selling like crazy. So I went back a few years to see how does this stand relative to what the past was. And it's just that if you go back to 2018, it's just a little bit down, maybe about 7-8% down from 2018. So, you and I are always talking about this. Look, the market's slowing down. The market's definitely not what it was during the last 2 years, but it's still a good market. And that's what I'm talking about. So if you go back and look at 2018, it's really not that far off. Mm-hmm. Inventory, pendings. And I know you can have some opinions on this, Greg, so stop me at any time and just jump right in. But pendings also down for 40% for November. So that's going to mean the closed sales in December are also going to be down, which was what everybody expected anyway. October, November, December, we expected a pretty deep drop in closed transactions and pendings.
And those two numbers are consistent. Like if we saw closed, just so people know, like, what are we looking at? If we saw closed sales were down 45.2%, but pendings were down 22%, then I might say, okay, in the next month or two, might see our closed sales being less down. So when Abe is looking at these numbers and I'm looking at these numbers, we're looking for that. But what we're seeing right now is when pendings are down 45% or 40% and closed sales are down 45%, then we can say, at least for the next couple of months, we're probably going to see something very similar as to what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Until interest rates go down some more, which we're not expecting at least for 6 months, I would say. It's probably going to be a similar scenario to what we're looking at right now as far as numbers.
Yeah.
But here's the big thing, that third line, the new listings. Only 492 homes hit the market in November, so that's down 16% from the year before. And that is what's really holding the prices.
Yep.
We're not seeing a whole lot of inventory out there being flooding the market. So it's still slim pickings out there. And look, homes are selling. So regardless of what you're hearing out there, when homes hit the market, right now, the way the market is, if it's a nice home and it's priced properly, it's selling fairly quickly still, Greg.
Yes.
The problem is when you average it out, you got homes that are going on the market still overpriced. They're going back to what they were, back in, spring and summer numbers. So they're overpricing them. And what's happening, those homes are sitting on the market longer. So it's either selling quickly or it's just sitting there forever is what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Average price of list, 97%. So basically what that means is that people are coming in at 97% of what asking price is. That's down a little bit. At one point we were at 100%. Now it's 97%.
So more negotiations. The sellers are having to negotiate a little bit more.
No question about that. Yeah. Showings are down significantly. So we're seeing a lot less traffic per property. So 3.7 showings per listing is what the average is right now, down 41% from a year ago, November. Days on the market, average is 80. That's up 8%. And here's the kicker. Average sales price, $443,977. That's up 13.7%. But that's up from last November.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it actually would have been up a little bit more, a few months back, but it is up from October. So that number, we saw a little bit of a bump up from October. And then the big one is the inventory. So the month supply was sitting at a 2.5 month supply of inventory. That's up 92% from a year ago. But in the whole scheme of things, 2.5 is still usually considered a seller's market. So it's still low inventory.
Yeah, got it. Okay. And tell me about the condos.
Yeah, let me switch over to the condo numbers and see what those look like.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to see very comparable, to the single family homes. So closed sales, 379 down 48%, pendings down 45%, new listings got a little bit harder than single family homes. They're down 23%. Average price of list 96.5. Showings, only 3 per listing.
Yeah.
So that one's down significantly. That's down 51% from a year ago. So again, three showings per property per listing. Averages on a market pretty similar, 82. That's up 10%. Average sales price up 17% compared to last year. And then the inventory is 2.3 months. That percentage looks a little scary, almost 190% increase from a year ago. Because back last year, we had about a 3-week supply of inventory for a while. But again, in the whole scheme of things, 2.3 months is still very low.
Yeah, it's low today. I predict we're going to see 4. I'll put that out there. We'll likely see 4. I mean, these numbers here look like to me that the condos is trending a little bit softer than the residential side. And for some reason, the condos have been lagging a little bit meaning it's like we saw a little bit of a change in the residential market before the condo market, which was kind of like odd. Usually the condo market reacts to a market shift faster than the residential market. But I think the condo market is starting to catch up and we'll see what happens. But it really comes down to how confident the consumer is in spending money on a discretionary product, which is like a condo. So handbags, fancy cars, boats, condos, they all fall into the same category. If everyone's very confident that the economy is going to be strong in 2023, then condo sales might be go up. But if the consumer's thinking, gosh, I'm going to be a little cautious and I'm going to be a little conservative over 2023 with how I spend my money, then we're going to see that show up in the condo numbers. So
Yeah, I do want to mention one thing about the numbers, Greg. You know, we're painting this with a broad brush. So this is just average for an entire market. That doesn't mean that it's exactly like this for every single condo building or every single subdivision community. There's certain pockets that are definitely performing better than others, whether it's a condo or whether it's a home. So if you're curious to what your home or condo is worth, whether you're selling or not, it doesn't make a difference to us. If we could be of any help to you at all, use as a resource. Would love to talk about what's happening. Like North Myrtle Beach, for example, condos up there are still rare. As soon as they hit the market, they're gone. And a couple other resorts inside of Myrtle Beach are doing really well as far as condos. And then there's some condos where the stuff is just sitting and it's accumulating.
Yeah.
So, so each one's going to be different.
Yep, absolutely. And same goes for residential communities. I was talking to an agent yesterday. I was helping them negotiate a deal, and in the community there had not. This is a new development. We're selling a resale. The builder keeps lowering their price. The builder has a few homes standing inventory. The builder has not sold a home in the last 3 months. They have not contracted on a home in the last 3 months. This is not like a big builder like a D.R. Horton. This is a smaller community. So this is not an indication of where the market's going. I'm giving you an extreme example here, but it's a true example, a true scenario. And the builder keeps dropping the price because they have not sold anything for 90 days. And that scenario, that resellers having a difficult time keeping up with pricing. They can only drop so much in competition to the builder. And then we have the exact opposite. We have communities, there's no building going on, and prices seem to still be maybe not going up, but they're very stable. They're very, very stable. So just like the condo buildings, as Abe was saying, the residential communities are the same. These are the facts, these numbers that we gave you for our market. But if we did this exact analysis, which we can for an individual community or an individual building, then it could vary. And if anybody wants one of those for their community, their building, let us know and we can get these numbers for you. And there's our contact information right there at the bottom. So I'm Greg Harrelson. This is Abe Safa. We do appreciate you tuning in and checking out our Myrtle Beach real estate updates. If there's anything we can do for you, we sure would love to earn your business. Thank you again, Abe.
Thank you all for watching.
Bye-bye.